Well, hello. How's everybody this morning? We are in process, the last steps in the process of shutting down the shop and opening a whole new chapter in Father Fish. Good morning, Joey. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Father. Good morning, everyone. I'm great. How are you?
Good. I'm feeling upbeat and positive and happy. Oh,
Good.
we got a house full. We have a house full of guests here. Why don't you say hello to everybody? I'm going to try to get my YouTube channel up.
Okay.
So I can.
I'm going to go to the top and start with the first person I see, which is Levi, and then Will and Fish and Tactics. Then I'm scrolling. You guys like to talk a lot in the beginning. So I see Roman, and then I see Broadcast Illusions, Karuna Karen. Okay, so I see Roman. Broadcast Illusions. I don't know why we're getting an echo. And then I'm scrolling down because, like I said, you guys were busy chatting, which is great. It's a good place for you guys to hang out. Richie and Sue Ann. And
Tony P.
Joan, Holly Kidd, Stephen, Xanadu, Tam Shepard, Thomas, Johans. Try to get to Ian Johans. Amanda, Hannah, Paul, Lori Monster Fish Gal, Holly Gibbs, Hans Aquarium, Amanda May, Joan, and then Mr. Manifesto, getting towards the bottom.
Oh, there is no bottom.
Willie Dack,
It
Steph's
goes
here.
endlessly.
Yeah, TJ's New Life. I'm getting there. I think I said Andres, but if not, hello, Herp Diversity.
Karuna Karen.
Girl, yep, Karina Karen is here. David Fellows, Michelle Lucia. I'm trying not to repeat too much. Red Eye. Shane T.
Oh dear.
And then I like I said, I'm almost at the bottom. Kevin's here. Tony P. I don't know if I said Chevy Fish. Chevy Fish is in the house. ASMR Fish. Jason Sear. Tony P. Reese. J-Dog. Roger.
Thomas.
I think that's everybody.
Very, very
I
good.
think that's everybody. And they'll keep
And
coming.
see, there's no bottom. It just keeps coming.
Well, that's great, though. But it does take me a while. And like I said, with all the chat, it takes me a while to scroll. But it's awesome.
Father Dog says Father Fish is a ghost. Now, what precisely does that mean?
I think because you were out of the screen.
It was out of the screen. Yeah, probably was.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, one of the things I've noticed is that you're stable in the frame, and I'm all over the place. So when I set up my new control center, I'm going to be able to do it so that I don't have to move back and forth to access the mouse or the keyboard. So
well,
I can
stay in one position. A little bit, but maybe not as much as you do.
Not very much. Yeah. I'm all over the place.
I lean forward sometimes to get more into this screen if I have to. But yeah, I'm not. No. You know what? Yeah. I have a stationary chair. I don't have a chair that swivels. That might be the difference. Good morning, Cat. Yeah, good morning, Catfish Terry and Connor.
Connor K's in trying to stir the pot. Saying Corey at Aquarium Cobot says, I'm getting old and don't know what I'm talking about. Well, that's typical youthful attitude, isn't it? Anybody who's experienced life richly and diversely and has a wealth of knowledge, understanding, and experience must not know what they're talking about. That sounds bizarre to me.
Ashley here. Haven't seen Ashley for a little bit.
Speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Yeah. And Jean says fidgeting is the sign of a creative mind.
Oh, was I right? Yeah. Well then.
See, I try not to fidget.
Well, I'm in a chair that
you are. Yeah.
That makes a difference. I need to get that up so I don't lean back.
You'll figure out something that works,
Well, so hopefully, I've got new tanks. I got the tanks in place, some of them.
Yeah.
It's great. It's going to look really wonderful. I'm very excited about it. And I had a unique experience. And I need to talk about this a little bit. Was it Roman's advice yesterday?
Yeah, I
took the pump home. I put the pump in the creek, dropped the electric line down to there, brought a hose up to the tanks. It took me darn near an hour to get all that set up, what with the back and the forth. But I finally got it set up. It's about a 10-foot rise from the water level of the creek to where the tanks are.
Yeah.
So I finally got it up, got the hose in. A good strong pump, but not much more than a trickle. So it took a while to fill. It was several hours filling 5 tanks, 155 and 429s. But I noticed immediately the fish started acting very, very differently. They acted as though they were in the wild. They darted, stopped, darted, stopped, pecked at some food, hid a little bit, came back out. Very distinctive behavior of a fish living in the wild, which
Mm-hmm.
we almost never see in our aquarium. So the more I watch this, the more I realize I've got to do a wild aquarium, and not just a wild aquarium. I need to develop a whole scenario, a whole approach to fish keeping called the wild aquarium or wild aquarium, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's in the offing. My next video is going to be that tank, and it'll look weird and strange, um, but it should be great fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Cool.
So that's the first real breakthrough with the new move, and I'm
Yeah.
very excited about that.
Cool. So, hi, Willie back, and good morning, Edgar. And I think I saw somebody else sneak in here. I'll find them. Oh, Jeff Tanks. Hi, Jeff Tanks. And I don't know if we have an actual question yet. Everybody's still just saying a lot of hellos and, back and forth. And
Campos Mentis is here on time. Welcome,
Mhm.
welcome. Wonderful.
Thank you, Lori. Lori says hit the like button. Thank you, Lori.
Jason's talking about his boss's dog died this morning. Dog
Oh,
is I'm with a golden retriever. That's a love dog. The Goldens are just love dogs. They're such sweet dogs.
yeah.
Just gentle, sweet, big, beautiful,
Yeah.
loving, loving, loving dog.
Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Greg. Catfish Sherry, I hope you get back
Oh,
to school.
Terry. Yes. Nice to have you here, Catfish Terry.
Yeah, I hope he's learning a lot back at school. I could probably go back to school. I could stand to learn a few things.
Holly Gibbs
Yeah.
said she moved her flowerhorn phoenix to his new, bigger 120. He seems lost and scared. Well, he's in a new body of water. What you might do is come up with a dither fish to put in with him. That'll calm him down. He'll see something else that he can relate to and be able to. That'll give him some added security. Good substrate for outdoor fish tub for white clouds. I would put dirt in, particularly if you want to grow plants. And if you do not have any kind of filtration or water movement, you can just do the dirt and not cap it. It'll allow you to grow plants tremendously. You can do a shallow cap, like a half-inch cap if you want. It changes. It's a different dynamic. It's a whole different kind of approach. But you keep in mind, you're not looking into it. You're looking down from the top. So it's a whole different kind of visual experience. And if you'll do it just with half an inch to an inch of dirt, you can mix that in with sand and put the whole thing in there so that it'll stay to the bottom better. It'll settle though. And with white clouds, they're not going to stir it up. And it'll give them that loose bed to be able to lay their eggs in. And it'll give the babies an environment that they can live and grow in. If you add some peat moss to that, it'll fluff it up a bit more so that the baby fish will be able to actually get down into that substrate a little bit and find the microscopic microbial life that's living in there, all the paramecium and so forth. It makes a very rich environment, and you won't have to feed. It'll provide adequate food for the white clouds. So it's really an ideal way to be able to keep small fish.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing outdoor tubs. I've got some 40-gallon vats I'm going to be using. By the way, The vats are available through Lowe's for about $10 a piece. And
Oh
they're
yeah, you
good
mentioned that. Yeah.
vats. They're really nice. They come with a lid. They're very nice.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't buckle. When you fill them with water, they won't buckle.
Bo, yeah. Hi, Brian. Hi, Brandon. And hello, Mr. Spoon. So I have a question. This is bound to get you off on a rant. Brandon says, here's a question. How to deal with people telling you you're doing your aquarium wrong versus doing what works? So
I don't know. I want to understand the question. Because you're doing what works.
yeah, I think what he's saying is he's doing right, what works.
You're doing what works. And people, well, that what you need to say to them is, have you ever done this? Because if you've never done this, you don't have any way to judge it. You need to do it, try it, and see why I'm doing it. Because I'm doing it for reasons that you don't begin to understand.
Right.
So try it and see, and you'll learn something. You'll learn how to keep a fish tank in a way that's healthier, more stable, richer, and more natural. You know, if you don't like it, then fine. Just
right.
go about your business.
I just go with, if your fish are healthy and they're doing well and you're not having any issues, then you're doing it right. It's working for you. So, yeah, but I agree. There are those people that if you don't do X, Y, and Z, they just automatically think you're doing it wrong.
I know.
Period.
I know.
So I guess you just need to be strong and do it your own way.
World's smallest fisherman. World's smallest fisherman. Father Fish, 3 questions.
Yeah.
Where does the name Father Fish come from? When did you start doing deep substrate tanks? And from whom did you learn?
All good questions.
Yeah, they are good questions. And Lee's here. Hi, Lee.
Hello.
Oh, I was going to say, Lee's been in the chat for an hour. Hi, Lee. How are you?
Hello.
How are you? Good to see you.
I'm very well. I've been out a few times this week. You know, I find it hard to go out, but I've been out a few times this week, and it's all been fine. I didn't get mugged. Oh, I didn't get mugged. Good. Right, a couple of things, and I hope you don't mind me.
Go right ahead.
Thank you. Namaste. TJ's New Life. If you're watching this, I don't know what happened. I don't know why we fell out. I don't know what the problem is, but I would dearly love to make up with you. And if you can tell me what it was I did or said that upset you, at least give me the opportunity to apologize, because I don't ever go out of my way to offend anyone or upset anyone, and never will. I never will. I do have some issues, don't I, Joey? Don't I, Father Fish? But I would never, ever go out of my way to upset and hurt anyone. So please, TJ's New Life, let's make up and let's go forward. Also, what's with that fish? Have you seen that fish of mine?
What?
That really, really weird fish that I've got that's really pretty. I love it. But it's a bit odd. It's a bit like me. It doesn't go like that. It kind of goes like that. And it's got little eyes, and it's got little fins, and its body's all bent. And I don't know if it's a guppy, a molly, a platy, or a... Can they crossbreed? Can they interbreed?
I saw that comment. You'll have to put some pictures of it up. I haven't seen it.
I put a video up earlier.
I'll take a look. I'll take a
Alright.
look at it.
I'm just really confused. I
Yeah,
love it. Don't get me wrong, you know I love it.
Sure.
So, can you take a look at that and tell me what it is,
Yeah,
please?
absolutely.
Thank you. And TJ, let's be buddies.
He left you a comment, Lee, in the chat.
Oh,
Did
good.
he? Was it nice?
He left you.
Was it nice?
So you're good.
I can't read it because I've got no
No,
comments on.
it just says it's all forgotten, mate. So you're good.
Oh, that's lovely.
Good morning.
That's all I want. That's all I want.
Bravo.
You know me. You know me.
Bravo. Wonderful. Well, thank you, Lee.
Thank you, TJ. Thank you, TJ.
I
And
think
have a look at that fish of mine. I'd like to know what it is. It's beautiful. I love it. And I'll go now because I'm obviously interrupting. So I'm sorry about that. But I just really need to say hello to TJ and get that sorted out because it's really been hurting.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
Right, what is it?
You'll see it when you drop down. You can look back in the chat. You'll see it, Lee.
No.
Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. That's made my day. Thank you. Now tell me about my fish.
Okay, right there.
Oh, wow. How have you done that?
It is, it's right up here around 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
It is, it's a, looks like a female guppy. Got a bent spine. It's an old female guppy with a bent spine. See it up there? Around one there. Yeah. You can put it down or just leave it. It's not in any pain, but it's kind of on its last legs. It's a genetic defect that happens to older live bearers particularly.
She's kind of shimmying, but
yeah,
that's
it's
what
not
it is.
that she's okay. She's not okay, but she's just old and decrepit and falling apart, like a lot of us.
Like Pretty was when she was, and the guppies don't live as long. So I had Pretty for 12 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
thanks for coming up, Lee.
Thank you. I'll go now. Thank you for that because now I'm not worried. I know it's just part of the course.
I'm glad that's resolved. That's wonderful.
I'm not going to put her down. I'm not going to put her down. I wouldn't know how to do it. I'm just going to enjoy her.
And Lee, TJ says, very nice of you, Lee.
No, TJ. No,
TJ says, very nice of you, Lee. So,
yeah, and TJ, it goes both ways. We fell out. I don't know why, but it's gracious of you to forgive me and gone. Over and done with. Thank you so much.
Love you.
I love it.
You bet.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Oh, that's really made my day. That has made my day. Thank you so much. Both counts. TJ and the fish. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So I think we should get back to Johan's questions because they were very good questions.
They were. They were in a few sentences, but that's good. Okay, first of all, yes, Father Fish. Where did Father Fish come from? It's a bit of a story, but I'll tell the story because it's kind of fun. I was thinking about it again this morning. It started, oh golly, at least 20 years ago. Michael Labello and Jim, his friend Jim, I can't think of Jim's last name. It may come to me. I don't think there's anyone on here who knows him. Jim had fish stores many years before, and he's now in California. Very interesting guy. They were best buds. They came down to visit my fish room back when I was selling fish on Aquabid. And we became instant friends. They on their second or third trip down, Jim asked to use the bathroom, and as he was walking through my house to the bathroom, he noticed a picture of me hanging on the wall, wearing clerical garb. I was a United Methodist minister for 15 years, I guess, and he didn't say anything to his friend about that or anyone else. He just kind of thought about it. And then the next time I saw him was at a Tampa Aquarium Club meeting. And he said, "Hey, Father Fish." And that was new. That was different. And I kind of liked it. So I brightened up and said, hey, Jim. And then other people began to pick it up. And nobody knew why. But eventually he told the story of how that happened. So I've been called Father Fish by Jim initially, and then just many other people. And it stuck so well and was so effective. I decided to name the aquarium when I opened it, to call it Father Fish Aquarium. And I prefer, here online, I really enjoy being called Father Fish. It's great fun. It's something that I find endearing and very enjoyable. So there's that dirted tank. It had a lot of beginnings, a lot of different kinds of beginnings. I certainly have to credit my grandmother. Oh golly, 70 years ago or more, with introducing me to the whole concept of substrate. She didn't do precisely a dirted substrate, but same thing. I mean, she had a well-aged substrate that she never cleaned, and she had plants growing in it. It was about 2 inches deep, sand and gravel, a very fine kind of gravel, I guess, more sand than gravel. Once a year, I would help her clean it. We'd break it down, clean the whole thing up. I think, frankly, she let me do that more to entertain me and bond with me than because the tank really needed it. But there was that. And then I got involved with Brian Green. Now, you're going to meet Brian. I talked to Brian the other day. Brian Green has been in fish. He's now in his late 60s. Been in fish since he was a kid. He's one of the leading accolades in coral development, coral growth, and coral development in the natural environment scene. He developed through GARF, and I've mentioned GARF before. GARF, a Geothermal Associated Research Foundation or something. I don't think they're online anymore. They were located in Idaho, I believe, over a geothermal vent, which gave them precise water temperature and conditions. Anyway, they developed the concept of a deep seedbed, a deep substrate, based on research that they did studying, and others did, studying the substrate under the coral reef. They determined that if that substrate under the reef was healthy, then the reef was healthy. If that substrate was not healthy, then the reef was not healthy. So there was a direct one-to-one correlation between the health of the substrate and the reef growing above it, coral reef in the open ocean, if you will. So that's substantial. And they then began to develop what became the deep substrate. They actually were the people who invented miracle mud, if you've ever heard that term. And all miracle mud is a collection of bacterial substrate from literally all over the world that they combine together to make the richest possible biodiverse substrate, which they then manufactured by creating it in all their tanks and selling it. They also crushed up shell, did a lot of crushed shell.
Thank
As
you
a
for
way
that.
also, yes, Wally Beck. Thank you very much, Wally Beck. They also crushed coral and sold crushed coral as a cap for their substrate. So when I started doing freshwater, I adapted that to freshwater, kind of bringing all that experience in. And then when I read Wallstead, uh, I was most interested in the more scientific aspects of Wallstead, where she defined the various chemicals and the various elements involved in the substrate and in what's productive for plants. And I began finding ways to add that. So that's where all those ingredients came from. And I've kind of added some of my own along the way. Um, it really wasn't until I started this shop about 15 years ago that I got serious about substrate. So I set up all of the tanks in the shop with a deep substrate and a sand cap. 200 tanks, deep substrate, sand cap, 15 years. Some of them I brought over from the old shop and installed here. So I really do have tanks that have been set up in 15 years without changing the substrate at all. And they're today healthier, stronger, more vital tanks, growing plants better than they ever did. So it kind of proved the system. I will have a few of those tanks, two or three of them, in my fish room. Actually, all of them, but some of them are from the original store. I'm going to have about 5 + 3, 8, about 10 tanks altogether, and you're going to love it. It's really wonderful. It's going to be great fun. It'll look good and it'll be sharp. So that's it. Yes. What do you have there?
I'm scrolling back. I was just watching the chat. I'm scrolling back. I have a question from Ashu. And she says, what does more biomedia do? Are they helpful in cleaning the water, or are they helpful in stabilizing the water?
Well, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
In a balanced tank, there's no difference between the water, the plants, the fish, and the substrate. They're all of a piece. And what the research I was just mentioning accomplished was to create an understanding that all of these things exist in balance. So if one of them's out of balance, they all are out of balance. They have to work together. So it's not just cleaning the water and keeping it clear, it's the whole system. Increased biodiversity increases balance. It creates a more stable environment in which all of these diverse life forms, if you include bacteria as a life form, and for the sake of discussion, it's simply easiest to do that. They as they're increased, they create niches between each other and create a harmonious balance between each other. And so it becomes increasingly stable and strong. The more diversity there is, the more stable it is because they live in harmony. They exist in in a direct relationship with each other, such that they are interdependent upon each other, but it's strengthened by its diversity. So if you get the sense of that, it's there's not as much strength in that as there is in that, and there's that much more strength in that. If you get the sense of that, the more the variety uh, in a unified environment, the stronger that environment is. So it's that kind of principle, that kind of experience, really.
I'm not scrolling back to the question, but I'm just gonna. Amanda had a question wondering what you think, or if you have an opinion about the plants that they sell in the box stores that come in the containers with the gel. I want to know if you have any thoughts or opinions.
Um, well, you really need a rich, strong substrate to be able to grow them. They're plants that are grown from single cells,
Right.
um, and they're if you get on Jason's Redfish Bluefish channel and follow some of his older videos, particularly where he's showing how this is done. He actually has a laboratory in his home where he does this kind of work. He actually starts with tiny cuttings
Yeah, like
from,
tissue culture, right?
yeah, it's
He's
a
doing
tissue
tissue.
culture.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Yeah. And the media, the gel media, has nutrition in it, but you don't want to put that in your tank. You need to remove the plant from that and plant it in your plant. So if you don't have a rich culture, an established culture in your tank, those plants are not going to survive. People fail with them routinely for that very reason, because they don't have a rich enough culture in their tank to be able to support them.
I can I throw in my opinion on them?
You bet.
I think there's two ways of looking at them. Yes, they're grown from a tissue culture, but some people prefer them because they typically come, from a sterile environment, meaning, no parasites potentially, no snails, things like that. Whereas when you buy a plant out of a tank in the store, you probably gonna get some snails on that plant. So I think some people go with the tissue cultures for those reasons. But as you said, they don't always all make it. You have to rinse that gel off and plant them and hope. And I would say, just from the things I've seen from people talking about, it's sort of 50-50. Some make it, some don't. But
It
that's
depends entirely on the quality of the
right
substrate you're putting them in.
that they go into. Yeah. So that's my little take on it. Oh, and asking about what about root tabs?
Um, yeah, I use Osmocote. I just
Yeah.
prefer I prefer Osmocote, but I don't dose with it. I put it in my original mix, um, and
Right.
then I don't find I need to do anything beyond that for years. I just don't need to. If you're
Yeah.
gonna if you're gonna put root tabs or any such thing in your substrate, don't do it more than once every 4 to 6 months, 2 to 3 times a year. No more than that. Any more than that, you're going to foul the water and burn the plants. Just you can any notion that you need to pour fertilizer in your tank every day or every week or whatever. It's just insanity. It means you don't have a tank that's able to support life, and you're having to dump food in it all the time to try to keep the plants going. You set the tank up in such a way that it can support life to begin with, and you won't have to do all this madness days and weeks and months down the line.
I think by adding a lot of extra fertilizers, you also have more potential, as you said, the extra nutrients. I mean, you're going to grow algae typically that you don't want. Most people don't want them. And,
Yeah,
such as
that's
rainwater
right.
and algae,
Yeah,
you're
you know,
much more to that.
adding nutrients increases the need for whatever it is that's going to consume those nutrients. So if you're putting plant nutrients in there, you need a lot of plants. Your plant should be 70%, your tank should be 70% plants. If it's not, you really don't have enough plants in your tank.
Yep. All right.
Asha Chola, struggling to keep
With
his water clean. Maybe because I don't have small fish to eat other fish's poop. And more biodiversity is better. Probably because you're doing two things, or you're not doing one thing and you are doing the other. You don't have a substrate that's able to assimilate the waste that's coming in. So you probably have gravel an inch deep rather than a substrate that's 3 to 4 inches deep. Number two, you are almost absolutely overfeeding. You're putting more food in the tank than it can handle, and it's causing an explosion of bacteria just to try to consume all that excess nutrition you're putting in the tank. So do two things. Number one, pour in it at least 1 inch of sand directly into the tank. Wash it out good and just pour it in. Number two, stop feeding your fish for at least a month. No food of any kind for 1 month. Your tank will, if you'll do those two things, your tank will clear up and it will remain clean so long as you don't then go back to throwing a ton of food in the tank. Stop overfeeding. It's the biggest single problem with keeping fish. Best rapashi combos for discus. Rian.
yeah,
I don't use rapashi. I've tried it. I think it's gimmicky. I don't do it. You can get certain kinds of food in a gelatinous mix that are otherwise difficult to feed. I don't even fool with that. You know, I feed worms and vegetable matter to my discus. I don't do rapashi. It's fine. I mean, I know lots of people do it. They like it. They use it. It's fine. Nothing wrong with it. I don't do it because I do raw foods.
yeah. But I'm sure there's somebody in here, if that's what you wanted, that could suggest something to you,
Yeah,
Brian.
absolutely. Yeah.
Um, but we got a few other Sister Lockmos in, the Nuxie Tinks, a couple other people that snuck in here.
Hey, Sister Lockmo, nice to see you. Sister Lockmo is one of the first people who welcomed me to YouTube. One of the very first.
Yeah.
And I've always had a warm spot in my heart for Sister Lockmo. Such a dear, sweet woman. Deeply appreciate you.
Brian's also asking how to
Susan,
get.
Susan was another one. Susan and Sister Lockmo. Well, we're just, and a few others. It's very warm, welcoming people.
So they are from the beginning for you. That's cool.
You bet.
Hello, Dennis. Dennis is new.
Dennis Lord. Hello, Dennis. How are you? And if you come back one more time, Dennis, you'll learn a wrench.
Yeah.
And Thomas Kelly says, goof job, Stephen. Goof job.
There's a little bit going on here. We get some people jumping in mods, so thank you. I know what's going on. Father Fish probably doesn't, but thank you.
What?
Oh, just timing out somebody. That's all.
Oh,
We'll talk
okay.
about it
All right.
if you want to know.
Whatever.
Anyway, we'll try to continue with questions. Oh, well, Sister Lockmo says, Father Fish, you have helped me answer so many questions that were running in my head. So that's sweet.
Thank you, sister.
Yes.
And there's full of heart.
Brianna asked how to spawn discus. I mean, Brianna, I'm sure Father Fish could tell you, but like anything.
Brian, give it 10 years. Give yourself 10 years. You're young enough, you can do that. Give yourself 10 years. And in 10 years, you begin to have real answers. You're not going to get this in the next 30 seconds or in the next day or week or month or year. It's going to take 10 years for you to develop some real strength and depth of understanding and wisdom in this hobby. You can learn basics, and you can learn basics here and in some other places, but don't try to jump ahead. Give yourself time to grow. You will be astounding if you do that. You're a bright, energetic young woman, and if you will give yourself time to grow and to mature, you will be an amazing fish keeper. Just don't try to jump ahead.
What did I say? Oh.
Yeah, Stephen's asking, making an important observation. Says it's one thing to ask questions, it's quite another to keep poking a channel with another channel.
Well,
And
that's
Stephen,
what they took care of. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we don't call people on that much, but it's a real issue, and it's something that builds resentment, and you need to be sensitive. I think we all are sensitive to trying to use this or any other channel to promote your own. Promote the channel you're on, and yours will be promoted. You don't need to try to point to yourself. If you're pointing to others and showing concern for others and support for others, you'll get it back 100-fold. Yeah, I guarantee it, absolutely. If you're out there trying to help other people, trying to support them in what they're doing,
Yeah.
you will find all kinds of people will respond to that by saying, "Hey, check out what Father Fish is doing." It's happened to me 1,000 times, 1,000 times, 1,000. I've got my channel has grown. It's not been astounding, but it's been wonderful, and it's been substantial. In 1 year, I guess it's been 18 months now. My channel has grown substantially in 18 months. And I really haven't tried to promote it as much as I've tried to reach out to other people, talk with them and help them and be a part of what they're about. I don't do nearly enough of that. It's one of the reasons I'm looking forward to getting rid of the store. So I'll have more time to be able to do that. So I'll be able to have more time to get on other people's channels and be supportive and discover what's really going on in the fish fund. It's really amazing and it's wonderful. Don't point to yourself. Point to others. Say, hey, wow, that's fabulous. I love that. That's amazing. Go for it. And you'll get that back 100 times. I absolutely guarantee it. Just do it.
Right. Um,
Hans is talking about sugar.
well, that's because Lee is still asking the sugar question. What would happen if you put sugar in your tank? He's on that. What would happen if you put sugar in your tank?
Well, it will not make your fish sweeter. I mean, you've already got the sweetest fish in the fish world, Lee. You know, don't kill the lily here. Just you can do you can do dosages of things. You have to do it in extreme with extreme caution. You know, a little bit goes a long way. And I would not use sugar. If you're going to do that, use honey. Drop one drop of honey, one drop of honey, and get royal honey while you're at it. Put a drop of royal honey in your tank. You'll see a difference. You really will see a difference. It is remarkable. But
So
overdo it, you'll kill everything. You'll just create a foul, stinky mess.
yeah, I was like, I don't know why you're obsessed with it.
Well, he's trying to sweeten himself, I think.
Okay. So we got a few new people in here, Fishy Mom and Kim Cunningham. And Dennis Lord Jr. says Father Fish is my twin. So he must have the whole hair and beard thing going on.
Huzzah. Corridorable. I gotta say that.
Kira.
Kura Corridorable. Very nice.
I
What will
say
honey
Kira.
do? Try it and save on.
Yeah, Michelle.
I'm not going to give that one away. You're going to have to try that for yourself. Kim Cunningham. Hello, Kim Cunningham. Yeah. Let's see where we're at down here. We got 60 likes, 101 watching. We're a little behind on the watchers. We need the watchers to hit the like button, or you can hit the unlike button if you want. That's okay too. And do share. Any opportunity you have to share a stream that you love, please do so because it reaches people who are otherwise unreachable, who will never see and never know about that channel. So if you like this one, share it share it on Facebook with your friends. They'll never know it exists if you don't do that. And there will be 2 or 3 or 4 people who will say, "Wow, that's cool," and they'll go look, and maybe they'll like it, and then maybe they'll find something else they like. So sharing is a great way to kind of defeat the algorithm and make it a more personal, one-on-one kind of experience. Yeah. Do share. It's sharing is caring.
Well, yes, I'm sure people share your show, and then obviously, there are people in here sharing other channels and stuff. So that's awesome, like you said, gives everybody a chance to find each other when you might not, and without the help, without the links,
Hey, good mother, nice to see you, Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
Love you, lady.
Oh, Kim Cunningham says, any idea why my male Dalmatian guppy stays on the bottom of the tank? This started last week, still eating and going after the female.
I would suggest he has found a new way to lurk.
Hi, King.
If he's acting otherwise normal, then just treat it as an unusual behavior. Not anything to worry about at that point.
Ashu says she's pitched your channel everywhere she can. That's nice, Ashu. Hans Martin Anderson. Hi, they're from Denmark.
Hans is saying, I'm not sure I can see any thread topic on this Seems to me this is a chat room, more or less. Well, it's a Q&A room.
Yeah.
It's a source for people to bring issues involving their aquatic experience and be able to get the benefit of not just my opinion, but the opinion of others who are here as well, who are every bit as experienced and knowledgeable and more so in some cases than I am. So it's a resource and it's here every day. It's not a typical chat. It's not a hangout chat format. It's more deliberate than that, more direct and more Q&A oriented. We maybe could to do something to define that better as we promote it. I think that's a good point, and no, I'll take that seriously under consideration. That's a good point, and I think it would help if we could define in our promotional material what we're actually doing here in the mornings.
Hello,
I'll
Bucket.
work on it. Thank you for that, Hans.
Hello,
That's
Edmund.
helpful. Yeah.
Edmund.
Good to have a new perspective. It's good to have a new perspective and new eyes. Because a new person will see things that those of us who have been here a while just don't see anymore. You know?
Oh, you just assume everybody knows what it is, you know.
I guess, yeah,
Um,
right.
Yeah, and Hans, you can ask questions. I mean, people ask questions in the chat, and we address as many as we can in a show.
You bet.
Edmund had questions. Father Fish, how would a yearly maintenance look like? Example, water change percentage, cleaning of dead plants.
It's a really good question, and I think it's a really good idea. Um, I think it's probably well. I just lost my channel here. I think
Hi, Fishy Mom.
what did I do? Um, I don't know what I just did. I just lost my channel. Let me answer the question. Then I'll get this back.
Okay.
Yeah, I mentioned a little while back the yearly maintenance thing I did as a child with my grandmother. What it allows you to do is it's like gardening. In your garden, once a year, you go through the whole thing, usually in the fall, pull out all the old plants, the dead plants, pull out stuff that's not going to make it over the winter, till the soil, kind of relay everything out, and then in the spring replant. It's kind of like that. I would not necessarily go down to do a deep cleaning, but there are a lot of things you can do. You can adjust your hardscape. You can add plants. You can move things around. You know, if you do that once a year, twice a year at the most, it'll give you a chance. Now, I'm not talking about adding things in along the way. I'm talking about a fundamental transition where you go through the whole tank and you evaluate what's in there and make changes and adaptations, trim things maybe, pull out dead plants, get rid of things you don't want anymore, change out the fish population, perhaps. You know, do a major kind of transition with the tank. I think it's a good idea to do that once a year. Try to protect the substrate. Add a little more sand if you need to, if it's getting malmy. You might at that point press some root tabs down all the way to the bottom of the substrate. Uh, just do a refresh and a renewal once a year. Good idea. Really good idea.
Bucket Man was mentioning doing some evening streams. I mean, he does do Saturday and Sunday evenings.
Right. We're on.
That's the current schedule. Monday through Friday are morning shows, and then Saturday night and Sunday night are evening shows.
Right.
Um, I'm not seeing right this second an actual question. There's again a lot of talk, and you know.
King Shak Pal
I just
Chowdhury.
call him King.
In gardening, we prune plants leaves, but in aquarium, if we go by natural philosophy, should we keep the dead, dying leaves, as it will cycle back the nutrients to the substrate, or will it pollute? It will not pollute, and it will be
Right.
consumed by microscopic as well as by microscopic life as well as smaller fish. So if you can tolerate it, leave the dead leaves in there. Um, I'm going to be doing, I mentioned it earlier on in the stream, I'm going to be doing some videos on wild aquariums. And that'll be part of it, showing the enormous amount of waste product that's at the bottom of the tank. And it's going to show uh, it being filled not just by detritus, but by the twigs and branches and leaves and driftwood and so forth. So it's going to be deep at the bottom. It'll be 6 inches deep at the bottom, which will be a completely different kind of experience, a completely different kind of tank. The whole notion of a wild tank is in many ways counter to what we've been doing with aquariums forever. I'm looking forward to doing this because I think it's gonna jog a lot of brains and cause a lot of people to begin thinking very differently about their aquarium. Stephen is saying I got a donkey's memory, or is it an elephant? I can't remember. Must be donkey if you don't remember. Elephant will remember.
Father Fish, Sue Ann says, I have looked, but I cannot find a way to share your live stream notifications on Facebook. I have a lot of friends that would come watch if I could share over there. Do you have any suggestions how to share it?
Yeah, hit the share button at the bottom of the page. Click on that, and it'll bring up icons for all of the various social media. And if you have a Facebook page, click on the Facebook logo, and it'll bring you to your account. It'll post it there, and you can make a comment.
Yeah.
So it's automatic. I mean, it does the work for you. Just click on the share button.
Good morning, Papa Shrimp. Father Fish, can I just go back and just say just a couple quick things to Brianne? Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know she was asking for specific advice on discus, and I personally have never bred them, but I think my overall suggestion would be obviously the fish have to be mature and you do have to condition with the right foods. And I know there are people in here that can help you with specific information if that's really, what you need. But I think it's the usual things, it's optimum care and food, and then I'm sure you can research it a little bit and get some really good advice on it. And good luck with it.
Yeah, and these discus she's going to be getting are juvenile. They're young. They're like
So they have to grow up and be fed well, and yeah.
It will be at least a year before it'll even be possible for them to breed. So don't try to jump ahead with.
But
That's what I was
there.
saying. Yeah, take your time. It'll
Yeah.
all happen, and the fish will breed themselves. There will be nothing you need to do if you're providing a healthy environment. They'll do that all by themselves. There's nothing you can do to trigger it, other than treat them well, provide the kind of environment that's going to be really healthy for them.
And feeding them well while you're growing them out will give you the best chance of a good spawn.
King is saying the general consensus we get is people go crazy about planted tank maintenance. was hoping we could simply let the tanks be natural ecosystems. The wild tank experience seems to be just that. Yes, I think so. I think so. And I'm not trying to get everybody to over to a messy tank. I'm trying to show that, aquarium maintenance, maintaining aquariums has a much broader spectrum of things you can do than you might otherwise anticipate. So just follow along. It'll it'll get it'll get more interesting as we get along. And I got to go back and see if Corey really said that. Is he really disdaining old people? That's extraordinary. I can't believe he would be that obtuse, but maybe, who knows?
Good morning, Alex. Oh, listening while boxing up his fish room. Have fun with that, Alex. I know it's hard work and it's
Grab
also
that.
stressful, you know.
Have a donut. Is Chase here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Amanda had asked a question a
No,
while back
no,
about it.
yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
And I'm just going from memory, but it was basically, what would be your suggestion for the new fish keeper? What would be the optimum tank and setup that you would suggest to a newbie coming in and getting their first fish tank?
Yeah, start with the biggest tank you can manage. Nothing bigger than a 55.
Okay.
I would not do anything bigger than a 55. A 29 would probably be ideal. If you need a small tank, nothing smaller than a 10 gallon. 10 gallon would be fine. So 10, 29, 55 would be three options. Pick one of those. And then follow, if you're going to do a father fish deep substrate, then follow some of my videos, learn what that is, why that is, and how to do it, and then just follow through with it. If you need to get supplement, you can order that from me. I'll be happy to ship it out to you. It's on Get Gills. And just follow along, ask questions as you go, and allow yourself to be informed, to ask questions, talk about it as you're doing it. There are lots of people will be able to help. If you don't want to do a deep substrate, go somewhere else where they're doing other kinds of things. Check out Lucas. He does a lot of no substrate tanks that are every bit as effective as the deep substrate. He does deep substrate as well, but he also does some bare tanks. So you got to figure out what you want, how you want to deal with it,
Mm-hmm.
and then kind of go from there. But do some research first.
Well, and I have different types of tanks within my house because I do, as you said, different things with fish. So I don't have one standard way of doing anything.
Yeah, here's Alex. Secret history. By all means, follow Alex. Go to his secret history living in your aquarium. Absolutely banger channel, phenomenal channel, and he's putting together a new fish room right now. So it's a great time to check in on him and see how he's setting up a whole bunch of new tanks. Very exciting channel and a really exciting guy. Nice to see you, Alex. Good to have you here. We're Alex and I are partners in a lot of stuff. We just enjoy each other's company and each other's work in the fish room and in the hobby. You bet. Fashion says it's Alex. Alex is an awesome guy. Yes, he is.
Yeah, King's just saying, they don't want pristine looking tanks. And yeah, I mean, I just feel like everybody can, that's the whole point, is you can have your tanks the way you want them. There's no fish police. I'm all for do whatever you want and whatever you're successful with. As long as your fish are healthy, I go with you're doing it right.
Yeah, we've been doing this for a month. we're in the last day, so there's very little left. If you want to get a couple, we do have some nice 15 and 20 gallon tanks already set up with the substrate, plants, fish, the whole thing for 25 bucks. That's about what's left. But if you got time, stop over. There are a lot of little things laying around. No, they're all gone. All the big tanks are gone. Yep. Okay. You bet. Alex, I I mentioned earlier that I'm moving tanks into my house, and I live alongside a creek. It's a tidal creek, but it's like 99% fresh. I put a pump in and ran a hose and filled my tank from the creek last night. I got 5 tanks already up, and I am amazed at what happened. The fish are behaving in a way that I haven't seen since I've been snorkeling around watching wild fish. It's just been astounding. Real excited about it. So I'm now into wild aquariums. So we're going to be doing some wild aquarium stuff. That'll be great fun. Sister Lockmo saying, nature is healthier, CO2 is faster. Um, yeah, it is faster, but you get a different kind of growth. Um, with a natural environment, you get more CO2 delivered to the plants at the root, and you get a more natural kind of growth.
Good
Let's
morning,
see.
Nick.
World's smallest fish room. Remember my question from a month ago. Do you think deep substrate is the way to go or a way to go? Clearly, it's a way to go. I mean, people do all kinds of things, all kinds of things, and do it successfully. It's really is a matter of what you want and what kind of effort you want to put into it, what you want it to look like, how you want it to feel. Da 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 da. You know, eh, I'm pushing deep substrate because it's a way for a brand new person to have an absolutely successful tank and not kill their fish from day one. I mean, if you've been failing to keep fish alive, do this, you will succeed. I absolutely guarantee it. So there's that. Beyond that, it's really a matter of how much work you want to put in. I mean, if you want an inch of gravel in your tank, that's fine, but you're going to have to work at it. It's going to have to be cleaned on a routine basis.
Yeah. And that's why I'm just saying, people keep tanks sometimes certain ways for specific reasons, But yeah, if you're looking for a less maintenance tank, the deep substrate is the way to go. Um, King saying, does deep substrate when matured mean that we can do without water changes, even in tanks which are heavily planted and highly stocked with fish?
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you go a lot with, you just top off sometimes for months. You don't change water, you just top off, correct? In a lot of your tanks.
Yep. What
Okay.
is it?
Good
10,
morning,
12.
Ro.
Hi, Ro. Nice to see you.
Fatherfish, now oh, Roman, Fatherfish, now you have me fired up about stream water. When the ice disappears from my local stream, I'm gonna take some buckets and my kitty wagon and collect some natural water. that's
Right.
that's funny, Roman, but good luck with that. Yeah, you gotta. If it's a ways to go, you're gonna need the wagon. Yep.
Huh, interesting. Jacob. Huh.
Oh, Xanadu. Let's talk about you and Alec, saying that you two have helped and learned so much thanks to both of you.
I need to, what are we at, 10:16?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll go for a few more minutes.
Okay.
Then I need to get these guys working here. We're getting the last of the tanks moved over today.
Yeah. Lee says, "What is a water change?" She doesn't do them. Well, I mean that's really what Father Fish is talking about. The tank is balance. That
Yeah, exactly. Right.
you don't have to. What is that? How
No,
often?
Alex is saying he's not done anything in over a month.
Yeah.
Everything's doing fine. Yeah, absolutely.
What is a? How often should Vaughn says? How often should I do a water change in my? Oh, okay. It's deep. I was like, what is a drop substrate? I think it's a typo. Deep.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm like, I don't know what a drop substrate is. I'm worried. Well, I think, yeah.
Good point, Vaughn. Just track it. You can track it. It's easy enough to track. Um, uh, check the TDS and see what you got. Okay, if you want to keep it down below 400, and that's one of the indicators for water change. There are a few others. If your TDS gets above 400, then you ought to do a water change and bring it down. 400 is not dangerous, but it is an indicator that it's going up.
Okay. Well, I think Stephen is saying goodbye. Hi, Stephen.
Yeah, we need to go. All right, we're gonna knock it off here. I got to get the rest of my tanks moved and get some things
Yep.
cranking.
No, I mean, we definitely understand. You get things to do, so not a problem.
Okie dokie. Well, thank you all. Delighted to be with you. I need to.
Trying to find some music.
Well, I was trying to find Cake of Barton, and I can't do it because he's been timed out, and I can't do anything with it.
Okay. Well, do you have music you can play? Anyway, thank you everyone for coming in.
Let me get some music up. I'm sorry.
And I know we missed some questions. We always do. Apologize for that. But if there is something,
we'll be back here in the morning tomorrow.
Right.
Tomorrow will be the last program from the shop.
Okay.
Tomorrow morning will be the last day here at the shop. We're gonna all raise the toast to Father Fish Aquarium, and the next day, which will be Saturday night, will be in the new fish room. So that'll be
all right.
I know y'all gonna love it.
The official new chapter, the new fish room. Okay, cool.
Absolutely. Tomorrow's out with the old.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for all the thumbs up. Have a great day.
Father Fish. One place to go to if you have Vic. Your fish may itch or even flash. So Father Fish is your one-stop cap. Capital with an inch of sand. Capital with an inch of sand. Raise the temperature with a helping hand. And add some garlic on top of that sand. The itch will go, your plants will grow, and all of your fish will have a happy home. Father Fish, so Father Fish, your one-stop wonder if you keep fish. Starring the Father Fish and all his followers on the Father Fish channel. Over to you, Sir Father Fish.
Bye, all.